The man who burnt $2 million because his daughter was suffering from hypothermia. The man who spent $2,500 a month on rubber bands to tie his notes. The man who used to relocate every 48 hours so that police can never catch him. The man who made the fortune of $30 billion by selling cocaine, making him the 7th richest man in the world in 1989. The man who owned 142 planes, 20 helicopters, 32 yachts, and 141 homes and offices, with a private zoo filled with hippos, giraffes, elephants, and other animals. Hello people, this is Priyank Jain and I'm here with another video of a drug lord and one of the biggest criminals in the history, Pablo Escobar. Born on 1st December 1949 in Medellin, Colombia, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria grew up in poverty. In 2 years after dropping out of high school at the age of 19, he became a local gangster. The lack of money made him give up on his dreams of becoming a criminal lawyer, a politician, and then eventually the president. Pablo, who began his criminal career in his teenage years, continued to rise in his criminal career by selling contraband cigarettes, fake bonus tickets, and stolen cars. He was making a killing in smuggling business of cigarettes, alcohol, and marijuana. At the time, Pablo owned half the police in Medellin. His life changed when he met Mateo Moreno in 1973. Moreno was a drug chemist who fled his country and went to Colombia, offering to reach Pablo Escobar to logistics the cocaine he would produce, and the two began the drug trade. Escobar began to have a stake in Medellin's drug traffic by mid-1970s. In those years, he murdered Pablo Restrepo, Medellin's biggest drug baron. Also in those years, he founded the Medellin cartel, which is very famous and it's based in Medellin. With various people involved in drug trafficking in the region, he sat on the top of Colombia, taking over the production and distribution operation. Escobar used to smuggle cocaine into plane tires. Depending on how much the pilots flew, they could earn as much as $500,000 per day. By the 80s, Escobar bought Boeing to transport 15 tons of cocaine to America per day. Not only that, he even built an airport on an ocean island. He was making $60 million a day by selling drugs. He expanded his sales and began selling drugs to countries such as Mexico and Puerto Rico. In the 1980s, Escobar's Medellin cartel was responsible for 80% of the cocaine that was sent to United States. Pablo quickly became one of the wealthiest people in the world thanks to his money made from drug trafficking in the mid-1980s. With his money, he built hospitals, stadiums, residences for the poor, and sponsored various sports teams and institutions. Because of his donations, he was nicknamed Robin Hood by the public. Escobar began building public opinion for the presidency of Colombia, which he dreamed of since he was a child. In 1982, he was the replacement candidate of the Liberal Party of Colombia and they elected him to the Colombian Assembly, but things didn't go as well as he hoped. Justice Minister Rodrigo Lara Bonilla exposed him in front of the people, which ruined his image in the eyes of the general public of Colombia, forcing Escobar to resign. Sure, Escobar resigned, but he was in no mood to spare Bonilla. Bonilla was assassinated just a few days after Escobar resigned. In spite of his failing in politics, Escobar kept making huge amounts of money, and he was named the 7th richest man in the world by Forbes in 1989. Escobar's business was so big and so scrutinized that in addition to planes, helicopters, cars, and trucks, he even bought 2 submarines for transporting his cocaine into the United States. He owned 142 planes, 20 helicopters, 32 yachts, and 141 homes and offices. On the subject of being rich, I'm leaving links down below in the description that will help you become a money magnet. Interpol and the Colombian government were after Escobar. They were threatening him with what he feared most, incarceration in America, because for Escobar, being sent to an American prison was worse than dying. So he waged war against the Colombian government. He did not have any fear of the Colombian government and Interpol. In 1981, Escobar took this photo in front of the White House while being wanted everywhere by the Interpol. On November 27, 1989, he planted a bomb on the plane to kill presidential candidate Cesar Gaviria, who was against the discontinuation of the extradition treaty with the United States of America. The bomb exploded after the plane took off, as a result, killing 107 people in the blast except Cesar Gaviria, as he was not on the plane that day. Pablo Escobar turned into a terrorist in the eyes of the public after this incident and completely lost popular support. Escobar was responsible for killing about 4,000 people, including 200 judges, 1,000 police officers, journalists, and government officials. Escobar's only request was for the extradition treaty with the United States to be rescinded. He even offered the Colombian government to close the country's foreign debt of nearly $10 billion if they fulfilled his wish. They only met his demand when he started kidnapping the children of rich people in Colombia. When the rich whose children were abducted by Escobar began to pressurize Gaviria, the president eventually gave up. A vote overturned the extradition agreement in the parliament. Government agreed to a deal with Escobar under the terms offered by him. The agreement included Escobar admitting his crimes and serving the sentence of 5 years in the prison that he commissioned for himself. That's what happened. In 1991, Escobar began serving his prison sentence in Medellin, which he built and was called La Cathedral. La Cathedral was the prison overlooking the city of Medellin in Colombia. The prison was built to his specifications, in which he would serve 5 full years as agreed with the Colombian government. The finished prison was often called Hotel Escobar or Club Medellin because of his amenities. La Cathedral featured a football pitch, giant dollhouse, bar, jacuzzi, and a waterfall. He also had a telescope installed that allowed him to look down the city of Medellin to his daughter's residence while talking on the phone with her. The arrangement fell apart when it was reported that Escobar had 4 of his lieutenants tortured and murdered in La Cathedral. The Colombian government decided to move Escobar to a standard prison, an order Escobar refused. On 22nd July 1992, after serving 1 year and 1 month, Escobar again went on a run. The search agencies pursued Escobar throughout 1992 and 1993, assisted by US Special Forces, US Army Intelligence, and members of CIA and DEA. On December 2, 1993, one day after Escobar's birthday, the search team was able to converge on the house where Escobar was speaking with his son on the phone. Members of the search team surrounded the home. Alerted Escobar stumbled out the back window where he met with a hail of gunfire, and he was shot in his right ear that killed him instantly. There are numerous theories that suggest that the kingpin killed himself by shooting himself in the right ear. Anyhow, that incident brought an end to the life of the wealthiest drug kingpin this world will ever see. Thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe my channel and like my video. And I'll be back with a new video soon. Till then, I'll take your leave. Have a great day.